Namaste and welcome back. In the previous videos, we have seen the blockchain foundations, in which we have seen the fundamentals of blockchain, such as cryptography, what are the network or the computer networks that the blockchain technologies follow, or we can say what is the architecture of the blockchain technology in general, that is the network architecture. And then we have seen some specialized aspects such as cryptographic concepts, how the integrity will be achieved, and what is in the hashing, and how the elliptic curve cryptography will work in the case of blockchain technology. And these concepts we have seen in the last videos. In this video, I'm going to cover the basics of distributed consensus. This particular topic is a very important topic in order to achieve consensus of the transactions that are happening in the blockchain. So, in order to have consensus of different users, we must have uh, some clear consensus protocols that can be used for achieving the agreement among the users in the system. So, in this video, I will cover the basics of distributed consensus. Anyhow, you might have studied these concepts directly or indirectly in the UG or PG courses of the distributed systems subject. But this particular concept is a very important concept. The reason is without consensus and without the cryptographic methods, there is no blockchain, because the blockchain is a combination of various technologies that are already there available, which are well established. But all those technologies have been beautifully tailored to meet the requirements of maintaining the trust and security in the distributed environment. So that is the reason we are going to see in this video what is meant by distributed consensus, and what are the general idea of consensus, how how these consensus are generally managed in the distributed systems, and what are the challenges. And with an example, we'll see how important this distributed consensus is in blockchain. It is a common aspect in distributed networks to reach a common agreement on message passing among the agents or processes involved. So, in any distributed network, we have seen blockchain is a kind of distributed network. Our blockchain networks are kind of distributed networks, and which are decentralized in nature and which are distributed in nature. So it is a most common aspect in distributed networks to reach a common agreement on message passing among agents or processes involved. So here agent means maybe an individual who are working on a distributed network or in a distributed network, or maybe processes which are already formed a distributed network. So there is a classic example that is available in the distributed networks. This is called Byzantine journals problem. So this Byzantine journals problem, in which there is a there are four journals who are army journals. So they are they are ready in the battlefield, and they want to have coordination among themselves. And these generals are viewing or taking care of different parts in different geographical areas, and these generals want to communicate themselves regarding whether to attack or retreat. So here general 1 is communicating with general 3 that we have to go for attack, and general 3, who is in different location, geographic location, is communicating with general 4, who is in some other part of the geographic location, and he is communicating the same message that is received uh, by the G1, general 1, to go for attack. And G4 in the same way is communicating to G2, and communicating the message of attack. But what happened here? G2 is giving the message of retreat to G1. So how these particular four generals who are in the battlefield in different locations will achieve the agreement on the decision whether to go for attack or retreat. So this is the classic general's problem that usually people will study in the distributed computing. Usually for this, so generals may apply some choice function on this. So this choice function especially maybe the maximum of the decisions given by others. Okay, that is, generals may apply a choice function to reach a consensus on decision. So this choice function may be majority of the decisions that have circulated among themselves. So here, if you look at from general 1 to general 3, attack is the signal that was given. General 3 to general 4 attack, and general 4 to general 2 attack. So among the four generals, so 3 attacks are there, 1 retreat is there. Maximum of the decisions is attack. So all the generals will go for attacking the opponent. So this is the way how the consensus will be achieved in the distributed systems. And this classical general problem is a very classical problem in the thing. So majority always wins in the consensus. So this is one example for that. So basically, this consensus will what is the advantage of this consensus is the consensus required to achieve it is very much essential to achieve reliability and fault tolerance in the system. So, because there is no centralized authority to control the system or network or the devices in the system, so it is always recommended to go for uh, achieving the consensus on the majority basis, or maybe by applying some choice function, so that ultimate aim is to achieve the reliability and fault tolerance. However, achieving the consensus in a distributed system is a very difficult task. The reason is individuals in the distributed network need to agree upon the common things. That is, in the previous example, the common thing is whether to go for attack or retreat. But however, these individuals may be faulty sometimes or may be malicious. So because of these reasons, the achieving consensus in a distributed environment is a very, very difficult task. So, for example, here uh, here mutual consent will be forwarded, or mutual messages will be forwarded among generals. General 1 to general 3 attack, general 3 to general 4 attack, and general 2 to 4 to 2 attack. General 4 2 to general 1 is retreat. But here previously we have seen the forward direction, but the messages may also be transmitted in the reverse direction in this case. So G4 to G3 is attack and G2 to G4 is attack. But since G2 to G1 it was received as retreat, but from G1 to G2 the message was sent as attack. And whenever G1 has to send message to G3, since G2 from G2 the retreat has been received, so obviously G1 has to send retreat to G3. But what happened is, since G1 is a very genuine person here, he is not sending the same retreat which was falsely communicated by G2 to G1, and this G1 general 1 is not carrying forward the retreat concept to the next general. That means here G2 is found faulty or maybe malicious, and he is maliciously sending retreat in the forward direction, but in the reverse direction actual message is going to be sent. It means you cannot directly suspect this general 2, but however general 2 is maybe intentionally doing this particular thing In forward direction, he may be sending retreat message, but in the reverse direction, he may be sending the attack message. So this is the reason identifying such people in a distributed environment where there is no centralized control is a very difficult task. So the reason consensus achieving in distributed environment is a very, very difficult task. And in order to do this, basically, if there is no failure in the system, it is easy to achieve the consensus. So for example, if there is no communication failure, or there may be a node failure, or maybe any other process failure, if such kind of things are occurred, then achieving consensus may become late, or sometimes it is not possible. So the reason here, whatever the example we have seen, this particular problem or this particular failure in achieving consensus, when in one direction a kind of message was sent and in reverse direction the actual message was sent, this particular situation may lead to Byzantine failure. So sometimes if there is no failure in the system, then it is very easy to achieve the consensus. But because of the failures, sometimes it is not possible to achieve the consensus. In general, the consensus may be achieved by simply broadcasting the opinion among all other users, or maybe by applying the choice function. What is the major opinion of other users in the system? So they will maximize, they will use some choice function on that, and they will come to know they will achieve the consensus. So these are the different ways of achieving consensus in the distributed system. So consensus can be achieved if no failure in the network is present, and sometimes network should be synchronized. In order to achieve this particular consensus, the entire network must be synchronized. If some users are offline, or if some processor are offline, then it is not possible to achieve the consensus. So the reason, one more important thing that need to be considered is the system must be synchronous. The users must be synchronous to achieve the consensus. In general, faults in distributed systems, sometimes, as I told you just now, the faults in distributed systems may not the presence of faults in the distributed systems may not provide us the consensus. But basically, these faults may occur because of three reasons. One is crash fault. That means a node in the distributed system may get crashed and may not be available during the communication because of heavy load, or maybe need to be processed many queries or something. Because of that, this crash fault may occur, and in such cases, this system may be down and may not be available for the communication. Second one is a network or partition fault. So failure of communication link between two nodes may disjoint the network. Sometimes there are some key nodes will be there in the network, which are the hotspots for communicating with other nodes. If such nodes are failed, then or if such nodes are faulty, then the network may be partitioned, and some part of the network may not be communicated with the other part of the network. And third one is Byzantine faults. So in this, the previous two cases are genuine cases where some crash was occurred, some communication link was broken, or something. But third case is nodes in the distributed system starts acting maliciously. This is a very, very difficult thing to identify in a distributed environment. Which system is going to act maliciously, and which system is genuine, which system is acting in a faulty way. The identification of such devices is a very, very difficult task. So, in achieving distributed consensus, first of all, we need to understand the properties of distributed consensus. So, first property is termination. Termination in the sense every node decide on a value at the time of termination. Either in the general's problem, every node or every general must decide on one decision, either to go for retreat or either to go for attack. So every node must decide on a value at the time of termination. Validity, all nodes proposes a value. That means either a decision may be proposed, then all correct nodes decide on that particular value. So whoever the genuine nodes are there, so all those genuine nodes must decide on the decision. Integrity means every correct node decides in a value, and the desired value must be proposed by an individual node. So this is what the integrity means. Agreement, every correct node must agree on the same value. So that means all the genuine nodes or all the correct nodes must agree upon the same value. So that means all genuine nodes, all genuine journals in the previous example should agree on the same decision of either attack or either retreat. So in general, in order to achieve the distributed consensus, first of all, we should observe the distributed systems architecture and the way of functioning. So there are two ways of distributed system communication. One is synchronous communication and asynchronous communication. So here in the synchronous communication, the message must receive in a specified time delay. That means there should not be too much time delay in circulating the messages. Where in case of asynchronous, so in the asynchronous system are also should be message passing system, and here there is no maximum limit for receiving the message. And at the same time, in the asynchronous system, as I told previously, achieving consensus is a very difficult task. And there is a theory, there is a popular theory available, which is called FLP 85. That means Fisher, Lynch, and Patterson. So these people have proposed a consensus algorithm in 1985. So FLP 85 says that if there is a single point of failure, then there is no deterministic algorithm to solve the consensus problem. That means if there exists even a single failure in the entire system, then you cannot use or there is no consensus algorithm available, or there is no algorithm available so far to solve the consensus problem in such a network. So which is also called impossibility theorem. This impossibility theorem says that even a single failure occurred in the network is very difficult to achieve the consensus. And in order to deal with the consensus, there exist various consensus algorithms like Paxos, Raft, and Besant and fault-tolerant algorithm. So these are the very famous algorithms which are not required for our discussion and all. Just for information, I am providing this. And in general, the communication in the distributed networks will happen in two ways. Either one is by message passing and another is shared memory. So shared memory approach is a very dangerous approach. And in general, message passing is a more convenient and economic way of doing the communication. So in order to achieve these consensus, usually the distributed network must be a closed system. When it is a closed system, obviously we can achieve the consensus since all the computers or all the users who are there in the distributed system are known in advance. But in blockchain technology, the cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, which are using the blockchain as the platform, which are basically public networks in which anyone can come at any time, or anyone can log in into the network anytime and can withdraw from the network at any time. So because of this dynamicity or openness, designing and implementing consensus algorithms is a very difficult task. So there is a reason consensus in the open system, usually shared memory is not suitable for the open environment, and message passing is also not a suitable method in case of consensus in case of open system. So that is the reason Bitcoin blockchain is an open environment, but the question is here how to achieve the consensus in such a open system. Why do we require consensus in the Bitcoin network? Because we are dealing with the currency, okay, and we are not only dealing with the currency, but we are also dealing uh, with the assets of the user. Other than the cryptocurrency systems, if you are implementing these consensus algorithms, and if you are making that particular blockchain as open, then obviously many users will interact with each other, and they may exchange the assets for particular currency or some other thing. So obviously, in order to have this trust and security, we must have this particular thing, such as achieving consensus. So Bitcoin blockchain is a peer-to-peer network, and anyone can broadcast any transaction, or anyone can generate any transaction and can broadcast it. All nodes in the network need to agree on the correct transaction. So because of these features, uh, the entire network or entire blockchain network of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency is looks as open network. So in order to achieve the consensus in such an open network, some it's a very difficult task to achieve. So how to know that a transaction is coming from a valid source? So anyhow, in the previous videos we have seen the uh, cryptography concept, in which we can say that by validating the keys, or by decrypting, or by verifying the signature, we can say that okay, this particular transaction is coming from so and so person. So that is the reason, because of these four properties: synchronization versus asynchronization, and traditional approaches such as message passing, shared memory, and openness. Because of all these features, achieving distributed consensus is a very difficult task. So in the next video, we'll see some details on the distributed consensus, especially how to achieve the consensus, um, and not only consensus, how to achieve the trust and security with respect to implementation of the elliptical cryptography, signatures, and hashing algorithms, and how to make use of the peer-to-peer network, and what are the other things like Merkle trees and all uh, to be used in the blockchain network in order to especially to achieve this trust and security of the users who are working in the, on or who are working on the blockchain network. So that's all for this video. We'll see rest of things in the next video.